Hello friend, how is it going? Welcome back to Auto Resource YouTube channel. I have another Honda video for you here. This one is 2006 Honda Accord with 188,000 miles, and I'm replacing the starter. The starter looks like original unit. Kudos to Honda, it lasted so long, it's incredible. And I would love to film the whole thing for you, but I have nobody hold this heavy camera equipment here for me. I have no tripod which will reach here, so I will just give you hints how I remove that. You can already see the starter down there. It's right here. And tips and tricks how to remove it. There are many ways to skin the cat. So I started with loosening these two clamps right here. That should be Phillips screwdriver, but that will never work because these things are so tiny and they are always corrosion makes them stuck. So you will need 5.5 millimeter. They are super tiny. Your screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, will keep skipping, and the moment you get a 5.5, it's just a breeze. It's absolutely nothing. So you disconnect that from the throttle body and the intake box and put it on the side. After that, I remove the throttle body itself, and that's being held with 2 bolts and 2 nuts. They are 12 millimeters. And again, I put it on the side. Why did I do that? A lot of people actually leave this here on the intake. They leave it there. I guess maybe they don't want to replace the gasket, because now, right, I have this used gasket here in the back. Maybe they don't want to do that. They want to skip buying the gasket set for this, but still I will show you. You need a plenum anyway. So as you can see, I didn't need to disconnect it from wiring harness, not from the vacuum line, not from the 2 coolant lines, which you will have to clip or clamp, right? I just put it on the side. This is way faster to remove 2 nuts and 2 bolts. So it's nicely on the side. After that, I continued with removing this intake plenum. And you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Was there a 5th? Maybe, right? So it's these bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the bottom, instead of removing this nut, which is hard to get to, I remove this entire supporting bracket. That's another 12 millimeter. And voila, boom, it's right here. Obviously, I'm not talking to you about disconnecting this and that, blah, blah, blah. That's obvious. You disconnect this connector right here. And again, you can put it on the side. Right at that bracket, there was this connector connecting right here, right? So you need to unplug those, no matter what method you are using. It was hanging right here on that. That was the support for it. Then you have that plenum gasket, as I just said, right, that came off. That was right here. So it's between this intake plenum and the continuity. It's a 2-piece right here. So are you there with me so far? Obviously, number 1, I'm sorry, I should say that. When you work with a starter, you have to disconnect the negative, or maybe even both if you want, but the negative must be disconnected and put on the side, because the moment you will remove, you unclick this small wire which brings signal to the starter, but the moment you will remove this 12 millimeter nut and remove this wire on the side and you will touch the ground, you will have a huge spark. You will hopefully blow some fuse, or you will cause the fire. This has to be always disconnected. I will lose the battery settings, and I want it, keep it, right? But the radio settings, unfortunately, there's on this year, there's alarm system or whatever, anti-theft system. So the owner will have to go back to the dealer with this because I didn't find his owner's manuals. I went through it, I didn't see the radio code, so that's unfortunate. I try not to do that, but the way the nut was against this metal pipe, I didn't want to cause a short using my tools, right? That was again the risk. If this wasn't here, I was going to save him from disconnecting it and very carefully put the insulation cap on this while I'm putting it away. I want to do that to save him from this trouble, but this design of this metal pipe, which is grounded, I actually gave up on that. So now the starter is held by 2 bolts, surprisingly 17 millimeter down here, very hard to turn, and in the back they made a 14 millimeter with kind of extension because they thought of it right there, like how you will get down there. So the other bolt for starter, it's actually 14 millimeter. I corrected loose, and this one is very easy. You can see by the hand only. The other one is nightmare. It's actually must be a lot of corrosion on the thread, right? You see it here nicely. So that's a rear one, 14. And now I will wrestle off the camera with that 17. I was not kidding that this one, it's really hard to turn. I use this penetrating oil, the blaster. I checked. It's actually open hole in the back. That's why the corrosion got there. So I sprayed here, the PB blaster, and I sprayed it here around the bolt which is coming out, and it's way easier right now, but oof, that was something. But I got that bolt out. As I said, might have been the fact there was access for corrosion from the back, right? It was a little bit harder. So we said one was 14, right? One was 17. Here we are. Now, there is a knock sensor, which you have to be very careful. It's right behind it. I will show you. There is a wire to it. And ideally, right there, do you see in the back? That's the starter, right? You see on that knock sensor on that block. That, if I'm smart, I will at least unhook from it, put that wiring, that housing of that starter. It's very tight in that, what is it, steel block. It's a steel block, it's aluminum. So these two parts are always kind of rusted together or glued together. There's nothing wrong with carefully tapping on that starter, carefully, not hitting anything. And that will loosen it for me, right? And I can see the crack between the block and the starter just appeared, and that will help me to get it out. It just popped. I will show it to you. It's just helpful. There's not much space. You don't want to be just yanking on it with your hands. The tapping. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The starter is out. This is the unit. I will put it on the bench so you can look the walk around, right? Look at it. I was right. It's the original Honda. And before I forget, here is the opening. I will try to squeeze this camcorder while maintaining this camera, while maintaining the light, right? So you can see where the starter was located. You can see the flywheel, hopefully with a teeth. Can you? Or is this wire hopelessly in the way? Maybe this way. Right, so that's inside. That's how it engages and spins everything in order to start a vehicle. I better hurry up with showing you the starter details. This one has a core. And the prices I'm sure you are interested in prices, so I called dealer. It's extremely expensive if you want to have a Honda. I believe new, I was quoted 600, remanufactured was 500. I'm opting for the customer. I gave him prices, right? And obviously the customer will go with brand new Optima. These are good starters too, very reliable company, for approximately $260. The prices I'm saying hopefully are including tax. But whatever, you get an idea. Basically that Ultima, aftermarket Ultima, cost half price. It has a full warranty, lifetime warranty. So I guess I personally love to have OEM parts in the vehicle which I own, but this is the old Accord with relatively high miles, so I think that will be overkill in this case. And obviously install, it's exactly opposite of the removal. It's not very complicated case here. I don't see a reason why to show every single bolt. This is not torque sensitive case where we have to share the numbers like if you do the water pump or timing chain cover or something like that. So I hope you find this video helpful for your own Honda vehicle, for this engine 4-cylinder 2.4 liter K24. I hope somebody will have a good use of this video, that I didn't waste my time. And please stay tuned. If you like it, give it a thumb up please, and stay tuned. I will always have more Honda related content on this Auto Resource YouTube channel. Thank you for watching and have a great day, my friend.